It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.
Yo, man. Boom, it's Rusty. What's up, everyone? It is Friday, Friday. And you know what? So I noticed a while ago I had on some filter on here that made my face look different. And so if you go back, you look at all the old episodes, like I have this weird filter where I look sort of, I don't know, it's supposed to make you look better, but I look fucking weird. So I realized that I'm like, why do I look so weird in this picture? This isn't what I look like. So filters off, gloves are off. I don't know, man. Look at me. This is what I look like. So happy New Year. And yeah, welcome to the Public Access Podcast, the podcast here on the Quantum Global Broadcasting Network, QGBN. And I'm your host, Rusty Diamond. And it's Friday, so I have a couple shows today. Next week's gonna be kind of a light week, so you're gonna get shows, I guess, when you get them. I'm dialing back my frequency as we're coming up on the 10-year anniversary slash 500th episode. So I don't know which is going to come first. I assume the 10-year anniversary is going to come before the 500th episode. So two milestones. But speaking of I don't know, speaking of stones, how do I do this? How do I go and uh, I can't even say what the word is to go and segue into this, into calling in for the show. You can call in the show, leave a message. I'll play it on here, 503-974-6420. Maybe you don't like leaving messages and you're like,
Messages? We don't leave no stinking messages!
but old Rusty Diamond needs messages, 503-974-6420. And guess what? It's time to bring on my special guest today. And my special guest right here, right now, is right here, right now. And my special guest right here, right now is coming on. And sometimes you gotta let it go. It takes a little longer sometimes to join, and I get to have these extended introductions. But here is there we go. This is different. How you doing, different?
I'm good, Rusty. How are you? Thank you for having me. Shout out to
Doing great.
everybody watching.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Yes.
Um, I'm getting an echo right now. Do you have earbuds, or are you? Oh wait, no, I think it went
Um,
away. It went away.
it went away.
It went away. I don't know. I'll
It
take
might
it.
have.
Yeah,
Okay.
you did something. You thought it needed to get fixed, and you willed it into existence. So
There you go.
thank you
I
for
am a
doing
powerful
that.
manifester.
Yeah, I like it.
But yes, thank you so much for having me on your show. Shout out to everybody that watches. Be sure to listen, subscribe wherever you at. Thank you for having me again. Yes, my name is Different. It's spelled Diferent. Of course, the irony of it is different.
I, I like it. I have a I guess a musical collective. I don't know if I'd call us a band, but we're called the Embarrassments, but we spell it embarrassingly wrong. So
Okay, yeah.
we spell the embarrassments wrong. But then
That's
try
embarrassing.
try to spell embarrassment in the first place. It's hard enough. How many S's are there? How many
You know,
R's?
it's
And it,
Friday. I haven't been to school in just about over 10 years.
yeah, right.
So,
And we have spell check now.
oh, there you go. That's all we need. The spell
Yeah.
check.
I mean, as long as spell check can kind of pick up, unless you get to do something like that and have to autocorrect different
Yeah,
or autocorrect embarrassments every time you type it. But after a while, it understands that
yeah.
that's what
I'm
you're
thinking that
going for.
SpongeBob mug.
It is a SpongeBob mug. I have this thing. This thing has been with me for like I think 7, 8 years. Been through like five moves. I love this thing. This thing is amazing. Are you a SpongeBobber? I don't know if
I
that's
used
the
to be,
correct word. Used to be
I don't know, a sponge lover, I guess. I used to be,
sponge
but
lover.
secretly now, I'm in my 30s, so you can't really, oh, I love SpongeBob. You're a grown woman.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I wasn't into it until I think I was maybe 20 or so. I had a friend who had kids. Um, he had kids like when I was, I don't know, yeah, probably I don't know. So when I was around 20, they were SpongeBob watching age. He's like, you got to
Mhm.
watch this show with me. The show's great. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, what is? And I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
Oh
I'm the
yeah.
20-something-year-old guy who's loving this show now. So whatever. But I enjoy it, and it's got some cool stuff. Yeah, so I just became a fan. The guy that used to, or the guy that is the voice of it, is was on a show that I really liked before that, and then one of the bands that does some of the music for the show is a band I really like, and that show's just it's entertaining. There's this. I don't know how much you've seen of this stuff. There's like AI um,
I'm starting to hear that
episodes.
now. Like AI this, AI that. Oh
Yeah,
man.
yeah. There's a the SpongeBob one that like they go and they take the characters and it's like a 24-hour stream of stuff that they do. It's kind of off. Like someone will
Mm,
put in a suggestion for what the scene's going to be about, and then AI just sort of does stuff. It's sort of chaotic at some points, but
mm.
it's yeah, it makes me think that the that writer's strike, they're probably
I
going
heard
to
it's
be in
over with now.
the what?
Heard it's over with now. It ended earlier this week.
I think so. That's what I saw too. And but I mean, there's still like AI writing, like AI can still do stuff, and there's still some. I don't know. I don't know how much I can be able to do with AI, or whoever else is going to be using AI is just going to kind of pass it by, or what's happening. Because I mean, like there's a South Park one that they did, and I'd say probably even this was maybe 3 months ago or so, and I'd say it was probably like 80, 85% just
Mm,
kind of right on and looked passable for an episode. And I mean,
yeah.
I even think South Park did an episode where they used ChatGPT to do the episode. And so I assume a lot of this stuff can just sort of be, there's enough, 26 years of content or a SpongeBob about
Oh
the
yeah.
same somewhere. And there's,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
They trust me. They won't run out. And even if they do, they'll just come up with something new. But
yeah.
quick question: where are you from?
Well, right now I live in Connecticut. So I've kind of been all over. I would say I'm from Oregon. If I had to say something, I lived in Oregon most of my life. So
Where were you
I would
born?
say that. I was born in Ohio.
Okay, Ohio
Yeah,
boy.
Ohio boy, a Buckeye.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, okay,
I
cool.
was. Yeah, a few years before I was born, Jerry Springer was my mayor, but I wasn't alive yet, so he wasn't my mayor, but he was the mayor there, I believe, until I want to say 1980 or so.
Don't
Um,
give me one. I was not around in that
yeah,
time.
I wasn't either. I
Jerry.
wasn't either. I was a little later, but
Yeah.
yeah, he was the mayor, and he got in trouble as mayor and got kicked out of office, and ended up, doing Jerry Springer stuff. So
Hey,
worked out
it
okay.
worked out
What
for
about
him.
what about you? Where are you from? Where are
I
you? Where
am
are you?
coming from the great state of Texas. I'm from Houston,
Oh,
but
okay, from
like
Houston
you,
then.
I've been all over. I work just about everywhere. New York, Atlanta, Maryland, Oklahoma. Yeah, just about everywhere.
Okay,
Just everywhere. And I love to travel. That's I guess I should give you guys a little bit of background about me. I'm
let's
an
do it.
author, motivational speaker, travel influencer, content creator, and CEO of my own small business, Third Eye Entertainment LLC, which is a business that strives to bring social awareness to society through our products and services in which we educate, inspire, and entertain all at once. So, for those out there wondering, who is this chick? We're just talking. But yes, when I'm from Houston, I'm 32 years old. I guess some of my hobbies, like I said, I like to travel. I have that daredevil spirit, if you will. I'm a Sagittarius, so I love anything adventurous and doing things
What do you like
outlandish.
doing?
Um,
What
I love
dangerous,
zip
wild?
lining, ATV riding. So this is why you got to go to my YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button and see my travel videos. I've been to just about 50 countries before the pandemic, pre-pandemic. And
Oh,
I think one of the wildest things I did was zip line upside down, I think at like 40,000 feet in Peru.
so is it still then? Are you still attached by like you're not attached like by your ankles or something? You're still hooked up, sort of, with your, do you
No, I
like
was
the
by the ankles.
midsection? You just
No, I
by
was
your
by the
ankles and
ankles
that's
and
it.
I was hanging upside down. Yeah, I love it.
That's awesome.
What else? I went parasailing and landed in some cow patties. Um,
Oh, okay.
I came face to face with the lioness in Nairobi, Kenya, and it
Whoa.
was just a real
What
moment.
were you
It's
doing on that?
well,
How'd you
so this
become
is
face to,
how
you zip line right into a lion?
well, the way that it happened is we were in the Maasai Reserve campground, and it's not like you would think like mud huts or anything. They had really nice big tents, and it actually had electricity and water and the restrooms and showers inside, and it had mesh windows. And so the next morning, I woke up to go to the restroom and came back. I learned that the male lions don't actually do the hunting; it's the women. And so early in the morning, the women go out and hunt. And where our tent was set up, where my tent was set up, I was still by like the little woods or the forest, if you will, the trees. And I was right next to a mesh window. So when I come back from the restroom and I get in the bed or my little bed or whatever, my cot, I just so happened to see the lioness through the mesh window, and she was just walking, doing her little tracking, and she caught my eyes, and I caught her eyes, and I didn't want to miss that moment by getting the camera and then having her run off and then she gone. So I just lived in that moment and just, memorized it in my mind, if you will. And she gave me a little nod, like, "You got this," and I gave her a nod, and she just walked off. It was so surreal and so cool. I have so many, good memories or experience with traveling. So that's why I encourage any and everybody, young, old, doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, get out and travel and experience life in the world and just learn new things. There's just so many doors that's waiting to be open for you when you take that step.
So
And that for me came. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I have a question though. So you were saying that you didn't take the picture of it. You wanted to live in the moment. So this is
Mhm.
something that I I mean, because so you're an influencer and you're a travel. I
Well,
forgot
this is
what the.
pre-influence time. I've just
Oh,
decided that I'm a travel influencer, and about in 2021 or mid 21 is when I started my YouTube channel, and
uh-huh,
this is where I started promoting my travel vlogs. Beforehand, it never really hit me to start a travel vlog, or it's not a travel vlog. It's just Different World YouTube channel. I'm a
right.
woman of many hats, but with my traveling, I did this all pre-pandemic, and it never hit me to start a YouTube channel with my travel vlog until 2021 and being stuck in the house and dealing with mental health issues, and we'll get into that later. But now that I've started to take it more serious, and with TikTok, everybody has the opportunity to get exposure and live out their dreams. I'm going for mine, and so that's just what it is. And going back into it, how getting my mental health in order led to me, writing a book and starting a business and just doing so many things. Um, I guess giving you guys a little background about myself. I had a pretty good childhood up until the time I was 11. And then me and my family, we ended up homeless for 3 years, living basically pillow to post. sleeping in cars and shelters, parks, bus stops, relatives, and even at a crack house at one point. And it stayed like that for me for about 3 years until the age of 14. And then I was secretly placed in foster care by a family member. And for the first 6 months, I tried to come home. And this was in 2005. So mind you, right before Apple had blew up with the iPads and iPhones. And this is still when LimeWire and Netgear were around.
Okay, yeah.
Remember them. And so I didn't know anybody's number. And it wasn't until 6 months had passed, I found out through another foster kid that if you stayed in Texas, if you age out, they would pay for your tuition to college. And so a light bulb went out of my head, and I just decided I had to use my street smarts to elevate my book smarts. And so when my family found out where I was and tried to get me to come home, I told them, I just made the decision to stay so that I'll have a full ride to college. And doing so, that was, trial and tribulation in itself, being shuffled around in the system. You don't have a name, you just have a case number. And by the time I aged out, I had been to 16 different schools. And so I had like 16 different personalities, if you will. And, uh, but there was a blessing in disguise. I ended up graduating, going to Sam Houston State University. And within that opportunity, so many more doors opened up. I got to start my own student organization titled Pay It Forward. And one of the segments is where we would go out to different high schools and explain the importance of education. And so that's where my motivational speaking book was planted. I would share my story. And, towards the end, kids would come up to me and tell me, wow, I didn't know the state of Texas would pay for your tuition to college. I'm going to go to college too. And so that right there let me know that I had a story that needs to be shared and inspired by others. I also, again, got that opportunity to travel. This was my first time going outside the country. I studied abroad in South Korea at Kim Young University. And within those 4 months of being over there, I had traveled to 8 other different countries in Europe and in China and Japan. And so that's where my travel bug was started there in 2012. Um, I also ended up graduating with my bachelor's in international business. I have 2 minors in economics and business communication. A few years later, I got my master's degree in entrepreneurship. I had my license in real estate and insurance sales. But saying all that, Rusty, and having all those accomplishments and notches under my belt, it didn't mean a damn thing if I didn't have my mental together. If I was still battling, childhood trauma and dealing with things from my past. I came up from a chaotic environment, and so chaos was normal to me. If that anybody who's grew up in that environment and those abnormal environments, to them it's normal. And
Right.
so when I had got taken out of that environment and placed in foster care, I was actually placed in nice homes, with families that are black people that look like me, black people that had nice houses, nice cars, well-paying job, and were educated and went to college. And I seen that and saw that that's what I needed to be and wanted to be if I wanted to survive in this life. And uh, but again, for me, it was just too good to be true. And so what I would do is self-sabotage for the most part. If a person wasn't being mean to me and writing me off, I would sabotage that because I just felt that it was too good to be true and that it wouldn't last. And so it was like that for me all throughout high school, throughout college, and so into my adulthood, it started to trek. And to one point, I started to mess up all the career opportunities that came my way. And there was one to where I had a meeting with a well-connected person, and I let those demons in the back of my head get to me. I just, owe you to country. They're not gonna like you. They're just taking pity on you because you're a foster kid, things like that. And I purposely showed up late to their meeting, and it left a sour taste in their mouth. And for years, I thought about that. I dwelled on that, and among other mistakes I had made until I was nearly in my 30s and had to look myself in the mirror and face that ugly truth that whatever I went through as a child, it was out of my control. It wasn't my fault. But as an adult, it's on me to deal with. It's on me to go fix. So I'm going to dismiss that notion that Black people don't do therapy, or some people are too good for therapy, if you will. And then I went to therapy and got the help that I needed, or in getting the help that one needs to maintain. And in doing so, that is what led to me, writing a book, starting my business, Third Eye Entertainment LLC, and doing so much more. It all started with facing that ugly truth and having the courage to say, I need help. I need to get my mental health check. And before, going off the deep end, I'm the captain of my ship. I decide where to navigate the waters. I decide when it's time for the ship to go down. How I felt in the past, and so now we're going to navigate it into a different direction. And so that's what I did. Talking with a therapist, and then they encouraged me to get back in something that I love, which was writing. I love journaling and reading about uh, astral projection and chakra healing. I'm into that heavily, and so in doing so, and being stuck in a house for the pandemic. uh,
Were you in
uh,
Texas then?
yeah, I was traveling, and then my flight got canceled.
So you could
I
be
was on
out in Texas, but anywhere else you tried to go was kind of shut down, right?
Oh, Texas was shut down too. Eventually,
Texas, where?
everything got shut down. Yeah, and we were stuck in the house too, like everybody else.
Oh,
I
okay.
think the only thing about the pandemic that I learned that I loved, I liked about it was that we get to work from home, and so now I work from home.
It's
Which,
weird that people went back. There's
yeah,
just so much where, like, what a lot of these big corporate places that they're like, why are these people
I
going back
refused
to
to.
work?
I refused. I
Yeah,
was like, I'm not
I
going.
don't blame you. I don't blame you
I
at
got to
all.
find me a work from home job, and no.
Yeah,
So that's what I did. But with that, starting my business, Third Eye Entertainment LLC, that stemmed from my thoughts, being in tune with my chakras, especially with my third eye. I feel that when you're in tune with your heart and your mind are in tune together, then you can achieve the impossible. You can do anything that you see in your mind, you can manifest it. My motto for uh, Third Eye Entertainment is manifest, plan, prepare. When I say manifest, that means removing all the doubts, all the fears, shutting down all the naysayers, or ignoring the naysayers, if you will, and replacing it with positive affirmation and seeing it before you can receive it in your mind. And next, you move on to the planning part. When you plan for what it is that you want, you have to get it out on paper. You have to have a backup plan, an exit plan. You can't plan for the unknown because you just don't know when it's going to happen and where and why. However,
right.
you can expect for it to come and know that whatever trial and tribulation that you are going through, you will get through it. And so once you move on to the preparation side, what I mean by prepare is that means to prepare yourself from the inside out, excuse me. Uh, get your financial house in order, your physical house in order, get your spiritual house in order, go mend those broken bridges, cut people off who mean you know well. So whatever it is that you're manifesting for and planning for when it comes to you, you will be prepared for it, know how to handle it. You won't squander it like how I did in the past. I had a lot of good opportunities come my way, and I squandered it because I didn't feel I was worthy of it. And again, that stemmed from the mental health and those voices in the background. And Rusty, I just want to take this time for anybody out there listening, including you and myself, that may be going through any type of mental anguish, mental issues, or mental stress, whatever the case may be. I want you guys out there listening and watching to know that it is okay to not be okay, but don't ever sit there and not be okay. Go get help, whatever that may mean to you. Talking with a therapist, a family member, a friend, picking up a hobby, mending broken bridges, cutting people off. Do whatever it is that you have to do, even getting on medication if that is the case. Do whatever it is you have to do to keep your mental health in check and keep you from going off the deep end and possibly taking anybody with you. One thing I've learned about mental health issues is that hurt people, and you don't want to take it out on the wrong person or somebody that's innocent and has nothing to do with what you're going through. And so, with
Yeah.
that being said, anybody out there who needs or know anybody who may need these mental health resources, please feel free to share with them. The crisis hotline number is 1 800 273 8255, or you can call or text 988, or you can text 741-741. And for those that would prefer to go online, you guys can check out mentalhealthishealth.us, or you can visit 988lifeline.org. And for those that are outside of the US and that's watching your boys podcast, you guys can check out incounseling.com. Again, that is spelled ENCOUNSELING.com. And that's a resource for those that are outside of the US. You can go to that website and it'll give you a list of mental health resources per the country. And
So
again, even though I am giving you guys these mental health resources, you have to remember that it's on you to do your own homework and your own research and find what works best for you. Because at the end of the day, you're the captain of your own ship and you decide where to navigate the waters, nobody else. Lastly, when it comes to mental health, I want you guys out there to remember whatever trial and tribulation that you guys are going through, this too shall pass and you will get through it. So going off the deep end is not an option, therefore it's not worth it. So don't do it.
so
Okay.
I have a question then. So
Yes.
I I always tell people that they should take their problems and be able to kind of hit them head on eventually, because eventually they're going to come up in some place again and it's going to come back. It's not going to stop. I mean, you can run for it for oh, I'm getting an echo again. Uh, so I don't know. That's let me see if I can see if that works.
I don't know.
No.
Do you hear the echo?
Yeah, I'm getting echo. Um, but oh, let's look, it went away. So I mean, because I mean, you can, you know, jump into anything else for a while, but eventually, it's, stuff that's happened in your past, you will have to
Mm-hmm.
have, come across it again. And whether it's going to be, debilitating and just make you not be able to move, or if it's going to be something that's going to, maybe not bother you. But I think, there's a lot of stuff where it's kind of been made to be, I don't know, okay, if it's not the right word, but to be able to put it like and not deal with it, and just because I mean you for sure cannot deal with it, but you can't be for sure that something up that of like that is not going to come back. And using the word, you like using the word trigger, but
Mm-hmm.
can, come back and affect you in some sort of way again, and it's going to happen. And working through it some way,
Mm-hmm.
understanding it is just so important for being able to go forward. And even with what you were saying with, you not taking those opportunities and self-sabotage. I mean, you deliberately chose not to do those, but then you also wouldn't be where you are now
Mm-hmm.
had you taken those. You could have been there. You could have been stuck in that corporate job for however long and
Yeah.
having to be in the office. You wouldn't have been able to be on here and talking about what you're talking about today to me and to millions of other people. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you would have been down that way. And I mean, it's something like, I mean, you chose that. And so like that's where you are. I mean, you got to make the best of it. Like
True. But
this
let me
stuff
say
can't.
this, Rusty.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I don't want
please.
to cut you off, but let me say this. I know that and because it was hard for me and it is still hard for me when it comes to maintaining and keeping my mental health in check. I'm gonna be honest and
Sure.
real with right now. I'm battling depression in myself. However, I realized the power in taking back your power in healing from your past and not letting things that are inevitable keep you down. In 2021, I lost 5 people in my family back to back to back, and my mother being the last person, she died in my arms the day after Christmas, and her birthday just passed on October 1st. And so it's been very hard for me, especially when it comes around when a birthday or the holidays. It's hard not to contemplate, and I don't want to say contemplate, but I want to say, say that I'm suicidal, but how I feel about it is, when it's times, when it's Christmas time, I just feel like, I want to be with my mother wherever she is, heaven or hell. I want to be with her. Now, with that being said, please know that I'm not suicidal and I'm not thinking about taking myself off the map. I have a lot to live for and I got a lot going for me. But however, with that being said, you can't help feel how you feel.
Right.
However, you have to realize, the power that relies within you and that you have to maintain. A lot of the times, we I don't want to say we do it to ourselves, but we make the issue bigger than what it is, or we add on to it when we just sit there and let things fester. Excuse me. Um, for me, this is how I had to tell myself, Rusty, in order to go, get help. It was the fact that, again, whatever I went through as a child, even as a young adult, it may have been my not been my fault or out of my control, but at the end of the day, it's my problem to deal with. If you or anybody out there that's listening and watching, if you guys have any anguish or stress or mental issues that's holding you back in life and you can't move on or get over it, then you have to realize it's something you have to fix before you can reach your final destination. I often tell people, if you know that there's an issue that needs to be fixed and you don't want to fix it, you want to just sit there and let it fester and be what it is, then it is your fault. You deserve what you get. And I also say, I getting my mental health in check saved my life. So I know it's a lot of people out there that's against it and that feel like talking with a therapist is a waste of time and money, especially with medication. I kind of feel I have thoughts on that as well. But with that being said, I have realized the power of, talking with a therapist or just, picking up a hobby or finding tools and things that work for me that'll keep my mental health in check and keep or maintain with depression, if you will. I don't think you can necessarily, you're always going to have issues and trials and tribulations, no matter what you go through or what point you're in life. Even if you have money or if you don't, you're still going to have issues to deal with, and that's just the way life goes. And so the trick is you're going to have to constantly find tools and resources that'll work for you, even if you have to change it up every once in a while, as well as don't let finances or money be the reasons why you don't keep your mental health in check. I often hear a lot of people say, oh, well, therapy is too expensive, oh, I'm not going to pay this amount for this medication here. And then that's understandable. In this today's economy, it's understandable. However, there are just too many resources and alternatives out there that are free and online for you to use that excuse. So I say, don't let money be the reason. Don't let time be the reason, or slothfulness be the reason why you don't keep your mental health in check. Because at the end of the day, things that keep compounding or you keep bottled up, it will come out eventually, and it'll come out in the wrong way. And you don't want anybody that's innocent that has nothing to do with what you got going on to get hurt. But that's often how it happens. And so
Yeah.
there is power in healing. There's power in going into your past, even though it hurts. What I've learned and what I've taken away from mental health awareness is that you become self-aware. And once you become self-aware of yourself, you realize, what you're willing to put up with and what you won't put up with. You find your voice when you
Yep.
become self-aware. And once you find your voice, you're not afraid to speak up and set boundaries for others and yourself. So
Yeah.
it all stems from, healing from your past, and coming up with tools and resources to keep your mental health in check. And then everything else will fall into place, so to speak. And again, keep in mind that nothing's going to change overnight, and you will always have trials and tribulations that you're going to go through to the day that you die. And so there
Yep.
is no one-stop shop fix for, mental health issues. A lot of people
Well,
think, oh, if I go to the therapist and I'm not sitting down one little session, everything is going to be okay. No, this is a full-on lifetime commitment. So once you decide to get your mental health in check and keep it in check, you have to know that that's a lifetime commitment that you have to stick with. So once you start, you can't quit. That's just like when you decide to get your physical house in order and you lose the weight and you stop eating all the junk food and you eat healthy. You can't go back to all that junk food, because if you do, then you're going to be worse than you are before. And so it's the
right.
same thing when it comes to your mental health. You can't just go into that therapist's office thinking, oh, it's only going to be one little session and I'm going to talk about all my problems from my childhood to now, and that'll be that. No, this is a full on commitment that you're going to have to do for the rest of your life. And it's understandable, again, if you can't afford going every month. But I say there are 12 months in this year. You can break it down quarterly, go 4 times a year. I think that's fair enough. That's
Yeah.
the minimum anybody should go. I believe, or I recommend anybody should go when it comes to talking with a therapist. If that is what works for you, to do so at least 4 times a year. If you want to save money, that's what I do.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so, as well as I look online, I go find Facebook groups, with those who are grieving, and just as well as with sharing my story, getting out there and voicing, my testimony, and it I know, me sharing my story with you and anybody out there listening, it's going to help somebody. It's going to save somebody like me, giving those mental health resources. Somebody out there listening, Rusty, needed to hear or watch. They needed to see or hear. And so that's why
Uh,
I do it. That's why I share my testimony. That's why, I stop being shamed and bottled up, because once I do, I know that it can help others. And that's one way I figured out how to help myself, is by helping others. So when I share
yeah,
my testimony and my story, and it's inspiring and it's helping others get through what they're going through, then it helps me. And
but
so
I have
that's my
one too.
yeah.
I have there's the Rusty Diamond method.
Yeah. What is it?
So people who like it also, so the one thing I don't charge for is if people want to come in and work on uh, PTSD or something, some traumatic event that may have happened, whatever you may think it may be that, it may be something that would happen before then. But so what I do, because I mean, like you were saying, you're gonna have to face it at some point. And so, I mean, I the only reason I do this one for free is because of how well it works and how in like 2 hours I can take care of
Mhm.
most, at least start to get that big peel off, that big part of the onion open before you got the rest of the onion to
Yeah.
go through, because the rest of the onions can be coming. But I mean, so what I do is I get people and you're get them in, hypnosis, and they're going to be in like the most relaxed space they can be. They can do it at home. They don't have to come into my office. I don't have an office. So
Mhm.
even better, they can be wherever they are, where they're safe and comfortable, and they don't have to say anything to me. I lead them through it, and it all happens in your head.
Mhm.
And you can tell me stuff that you're seeing if you want to, but you don't have to say anything. And what I do is I have the client relive that event, and then I do things to that event, give them, you know, things to make it become less impactful each time they watch it back in their head, until they're watching it in their head and doesn't it's not really impactful anymore. And then it's worked through in your subconscious memory, unconscious memory, mind. And then it's when it happens again, that's what you think of. Like,
Mhm.
you have this horrible event that happened, whatever it is, but then while this event's going on, you hear, circus music, or you see a bunch of people doing jumping jacks and backflips throughout the scene, and so you have a whole different memory of what's happening. That's a lot less of a big deal, and plus you've already worked through it in your head. So
Mhm.
then anytime it comes up again, you're thinking of that and not the thing that you're having to hide from. So if people ever want that too, get a hold of me. Hypnosisisgreat.com. Just go there, or you can call my phone number. It's on there too. And I mean, I have someone I'm working with on, I mean, on Tuesday for just that. And I mean, it's usually, I, it's kind of come back to bite me for giving out
Right.
giving out a free service, because it's people are, I mean, it's
They'll
great.
want it. Yeah.
It's great that, yeah, they're like, okay, well, I could do this and it's free, and like, well, yeah, okay, I'm gonna get on that. But I would feel, I feel it's something that nobody's doing it this way with the hypnosis that I'm doing it, and
Mhm.
then just the way it works, and the amount that it works, like how the percentage of success on it is just
But you do
worth
plan
every.
on charging eventually, right?
Not for that. Not for that. If it becomes my whole thing, then that's what it is, and then I got myself out of business. But I have plenty of other ways and other things that I do
You have
hypnosis
to
for.
treat yourself, never cheat yourself.
I
I'm
got plenty of other
I'm a
ways. It
businesswoman, so I never let a business opportunity pass me by. But and I often say the first rule in business, if you want people to take you serious, you have to take yourself serious and not let anybody play with you. So it's some people that will take advantage of that free option. And so I would say, like, don't do free forever. Don't
Okay.
do free forever.
It's the only thing I don't charge for. Because I've hypnotized people for, hundreds of things, and this is the only one. So, but yeah, I mean, maybe one day I won't, and I can find some way to have, uh, yeah, because I mean, what I charge for other stuff is not
Not free.
nowhere
Okay.
close to free.
Okay. He said he gets his money other ways. Okay, okay, I
Yeah,
got you.
yeah, for
All
the other
right.
hypnosis stuff is not free, but um, yeah, but I mean, so okay, so right now it's free. So if you
Right now.
want to come get it, come get it right now. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna go to
um,
his great.com
yeah,
and
and
see.
so where can people find you then? Different? How can people find you? How you got different ways. You got a lot of different ways.
Yes. So the main way that you guys can find me is through my website, differenceworld.net. Again, it's spelled Difernt.net. And
Okay.
there you see all my other social media handles, including my TikTok, my YouTube channel, and my Instagram. And my YouTube channel is where I like to drop most of my traffic to get people to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Like I said, I'm a woman with many hats. I'm an eclectic person. So when it comes to my YouTube channel, I have more than just one topic I talk about. On Mondays, we do motivational speaking. On Tuesday, we do social awareness topics. On Wednesday, we do podcasts or interviews that are collaborations, if you will. On Thursday, we do pop culture or movie reviews. And on Fridays, that is where I drop my travel vlog. And so, again, I encourage you guys to check out Difference World YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. I used to be on Twitter, but now they call it X. And I didn't know that. I'm no longer on X
Yeah,
anymore.
I'd say saying you're on X is kind of interesting.
Are
Uh,
you on X?
I guess I'm not active, not
Oh,
active
okay.
on X, but I exist in the X universe, I guess is so I've been on there. Yeah, but I don't know. So social media is not a strong point of mine. That
Okay,
which
mine's either. I'm learning TikTok just about. I'm just now learning TikTok. You put me onto that website, so I'm definitely going to check it out. But
yeah,
also, if you guys go to my website, you get a chance to check out my book. What if a controversial paradigm shift? Now this book again, it's intended. I want to say it's intended for a mature audience. It has this the content, and so just the basis of it is a book that's written to encourage and inform on thought-provoking conversations about topics that are taboo and often swept under the rug and turned a blind eye to in American society. So, if you were interested, go to my website, differenceworld.net, and get your copy of my book, What If a Controversial Paradigm Shift, as well as, you guys to hit that subscribe button to my YouTube channel. I want to take this time to thank you, Rusty, for having me on your show. I truly
okay.
appreciate it. You are doing an awesome and amazing job with this podcast. Keep going, man. As well as anybody out there again that's listening, please remember, mental health. It's okay to not be okay, but don't ever sit there and not be okay. And just remember, you're the captain of your own ship, and you decide to navigate where to navigate those waters. So do your own homework and your own research and find what works best for you when it comes to keeping your mental health in check. And lastly, I often tell people, for those who believe that they are destined for greatness in life, you have to manifest, plan, and prepare for it, and then it will surely come to you guys. Difference world.
Yeah,
Come and learn.
yeah. Yeah, thanks again for being on different. I enjoyed having you. We'll have to have you back. The
Definitely.
next
Thank you
I
for
do
having
three
me.
months usually before I have people back. So whatever that January-ish.
Yes,
If
around that time,
we'll
January.
get you back in January then, if that's cool
Definitely,
with you.
definitely. Just shoot me a message and
All right.
we'll make it happen. But thank you
Uh,
again for the opportunity. Thank you for everybody out there listening and watching. And again, don't forget, go to my YouTube channel, Difference World YouTube channel, as well as my website, differenceworld.net. And again, thank you guys so much for showing me all the love and support. And thank you, Rusty, for having me. I appreciate the opportunity and happy to come back in January. So I'll see you soon. Yeah.
Excellent. Sounds good. See you soon. All right, that's different. So, you guys, thank you everyone for being here on the Quantum Global Broadcasting Network, QGBN. And yeah, you guys check everything out. we're going big here, man. So let's do this. Things are getting in motion. I got another show here in 5 minutes, so I'm wrapping this up. You guys wrap it up. That's what the kids say now. So that is the show, man. Boom!
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker. It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.
Ernest! Ernest! Ernest!
Yes, Pee-wee.
You brought the snacks, right?